Hi there, it's Jodi. I am here this week to tell you what I've been up to, what I've been stamping this week. So just a quick flashback to last week's video. I shared a couple of cards with you that I made with the Whimsical Trees stamp set. So I used products from the Whimsy and Wonder suite, to make this one. And then I wanted to give an option that had traditional colors. And so lots of you did some voting, cast your vote, whether you like the non-traditional or traditional colors. But I really enjoyed the stamp set, and this was the first time I had ever used it. So for this week, I just continued with the Whimsical Tree stamp set and made a new card. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside and show you what I've been up to this week. So let's start. I'm going to scoot this. I'm going to talk about that, but in a minute. This is just a piece of basic white cardstock, and I took this image from the stamp set and my Memento black ink, and I'm just going to ink this up and stamp some, let me scoot it over here, stamp some ornaments right across the top of this layer. And I'm just going to stagger them a little bit so they're up and down all the way across, all the way across the top of that piece. And then what I did is pulled in some of my Stampin' Up markers. So all of these markers are dual tipped. They have the fine point, which is shown by the thinner line, and then a brush end, which is shown by the wider line down here. Anything that you have that's dual tipped, you need to store horizontally. Sometimes it's fun to like throw these in a jar or a mug or cup of some kind, but what's gonna happen is all that ink is gonna go down to the bottom, and whatever you have at the top is going to dry out. So always store it in a drawer or something, ideally one of our storage pieces, that keeps it horizontal. Okay, so let me start. I have Blushing Bride, and I tend to use the brush end even for smaller parts, honestly, mostly just because I don't have the patience for the fine point end. So I'm gonna color all of these taller, skinny ones with the Blushing Bride. I'm gonna come back and do the Mint Macaron on these ornaments here. Just do it real quick. I'm not going to color all of them, but just to give you an idea. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with some Mossy Meadow. These colors, by the way, if you notice right here, you're going to see Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron and Mossy Meadow. Those are some of the colors that are featured in the designer paper, which is where I got this color combination from. So I'm getting a little sloppy here because I'm trying to hurry. And then I'm going to come back with the Polished Pink and do some of the accents. So like this in the center, just get that. And then this part here, just going to color across there. And then what I did on this is I came back with some smoky slate and just did the tops of the ornaments like that. Okay, so you get the idea. Obviously, if I was completing this card, I would keep coloring until all of those little ornaments are colorful. But I wanted to show you the end result, and that is this right here. So you can see I kept up the same coloring pattern, but actually finished it all the way across. I took a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. Sometimes we tend to get stuck thinking we can only stamp greetings on white or vanilla, but any color that's light enough to show the ink you're using is just fine to do your greeting. And so that's what I did for this one, is just pulled in a little piece of Blushing Bride. And then I wanted to point out this strip right here of Polished Pink. I actually took that from this piece of designer paper. So all of our papers, double-sided like usual, but what I did is I cut a chunk of that off. So like how this fits on right here, I just cut that little piece, and then I put some adhesive along the back of this and set it right over that piece. And that's where that blushing, excuse me, not blushing bride, polished pink comes peeking through from underneath. And then of course you can see there's a little bit of bling on here. I added some rhinestones. I just love this stamp set. You might see this even more because like I said, last week was the first time I touched it and I just loved it. There's so much you can do. It's so versatile. There's a lot more that I haven't even used yet, even after these 2 cards. So just like last week, I wanted to give you a non-traditional and traditional option here. So again, I'm super curious which one with this design, you know, maybe it's different than last time just because last time was trees and maybe, you know, maybe you thought trees should be a little more traditional, you know, maybe this was your preference last time. But with ornaments, maybe you're thinking we can get a little crazy and do some non-traditional. So this one again is Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, Polished Pink, and then a little bit of Mossy Meadow. This one is Pear Pizzazz, Real Red, Mossy Meadow, and then I pulled in Bumblebee. That's what I pulled in for the top of the ornaments. So that's what I've got for you this week. Have fun, play with this stamp set, order it if you haven't yet. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.